ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Day continues due to potential dangerous road conditions.
We told you yesterday about the threat of icy and slick conditions when we issued this Weather Alert Day. Here's a live look from I-70 at Stadium Boulevard in West Colombia.
ABC 17 News has live team coverage tonight of road conditions from across mid-Missouri. We'll check in with our reporters in Mexico and Colombia later in the newscast.
First, the snow mid-Missouri saw today is starting to push off to the east. ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hefner is tracking some windy conditions.
And Jess, the snowfall is starting to end, but we could still see some of those strong wind gusts.
Yeah, we've had gusts up to about 30 to 35 miles per hour today, kind of blowing around that snow, and that was kind of the issue into the afternoon. Thankfully, we didn't have too much heavy snow set up across mid-Missouri. However, our eastern counties still dealing with a few snow showers. We had some pretty snow in Colombia about an hour and a half ago, but you'll see as this continues to rotate, most of those snow showers sliding off to the south and east. Even in our eastern counties, that is starting to break up a little bit. I'll take you closer. This is on our St. Louis radar. Most of the steady snowfall is now farther south of Herman. Owensville still getting a little bit of that in parts of Osage County. As that continues to drift south, our snow chances will go down over the next few hours. We've seen anywhere from around a dusting to about 2.5 inches. Most of us were right around 1 to 2. Had a couple of higher reports in Callaway County of up to 2.5. We had almost 2.5 in Morgan County. Pettis County, Houstonia had about 2. That's what we got in Huntsville. Columbia and Mexico got about 1.5 inches. Our road temperatures are still right around or just above freezing for most areas, but I will be watching our eastern counties, some routes in those places, because our temperatures have dropped down to about 25 or so on the roads. And same story for areas along Highway 65. Watch out for a few slick spots there going into the overnight hours. Our low pressure continues to slowly dive to the south and weaken. Not expecting too much more snow after this point, as you'll see here on Future Track going into the next 2 hours. Most of that is moving out of the area and dissipating. Tomorrow morning, we're starting out in the upper 20s, so we will have to watch some bridges and overpasses for slick spots. The main concern tomorrow will be the winds. We'll see gusts up to around 15 to 20 miles per hour. That will keep it feeling cold during the day, but it's going to stay dry and cloudy. Into Sunday, perhaps a few flurries, but I'm not expecting much more of that, as we at least to impact us on the roads going into Sunday afternoon. Next week, we'll start out in the 40s, and we stay there for much of the week. Here's our wind chill tracker for tomorrow. I am expecting temperatures to feel like the teens in the morning and not to move too much during the day. It's going to feel like about 20 degrees during the afternoon, with teens for overnight wind chills going into Sunday. The rest of the weekend is likely going to be cloudy. I'm not expecting too much more snowfall tonight. Could have a couple of flurries into Sunday, but next week our next precipitation chance will come on Tuesday with rain and temperatures in the 40s.
Our live team coverage of this Weather Alert Day with ABC 17's Chanel Porter and Megan Drakis continues.
Now, both have checked in with local road crews throughout the day today. Chanel joins us live tonight with the ABC 17 Storm Tracker from Mexico, Missouri.
Chanel, you spoke with the Missouri State Highway Patrol about road conditions earlier today.
Deb Lucas, we continue to look at these roads here in Audrey County. As we enter these night hours and it gets dark, it is important to continue to follow slower speeds and make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. MoDOT still plans to monitor these roads throughout the overnight hours. As snow makes its way out of mid-Missouri, I spoke with Corporal Justin Dunn from the MSHP Troop B around the 3 o'clock today, and he tells me that if they do need to resalt the roads, that they will take those precautions. Dunn also says the roads should be mostly clear.
Obviously, MoDOT will be monitoring the road conditions throughout the evening, and if they need to go back out and spread more cinders or ice melt or whatever it is that they put on the roadway, they're going to do that as they see fit.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol plans to give updates through Troop B and F Twitter pages. Live in Audrey County, Chanel Porter, ABC 17 News.
Okay, thanks, Chanel. Let's take a quick look at those conditions across Missouri tonight. MoDOT's traveler map shows mostly covered to covered roads and highways in the northwest part of our state, and then closer to home, roads do look much better in mid-Missouri, but if you're seeing those blues, that does mean roads are covered still as of right now. Now, drivers could find some partly covered roads in areas north of Interstate 70. MoDOT shows roads down in the Jefferson City area are partly covered. That's that blue. And now conditions are expected to improve when you head further south towards Lake of the the Ozarks. Roads in that part of the state look mostly clear.
ABC 17's Megan Drakis continues our live team coverage tonight from Colombia after talking with the Public Works Department.
And Megan, you're told the city is preparing to bring in a 10-person crew if this winter weather does stick around.
Yeah, thanks, Devin Lucas. Right now I'm on Business Loop 70, and as you can see, there are still a few flurries coming down. Earlier today, I spoke with Colombia Public Works Department, and they told me crews have been treating roads throughout the entire day all over the city. Now, crews are expected to report in about an hour at 7 o'clock tonight if we continue to see more winter weather. But as you can see right now, the roads are looking a bit wet, but always a reminder, please take extra caution in bad weather. The Director of Public Works Department, Richard Stone, says drivers should stay home if possible.
Main recommendation is to stay home if you can, but if anybody does have to get out, prudent winter weather driving precautions, typically slow down is always the best answer. Wear your seatbelt.
And the Public Works Department tells me it has treated the roads with about 100 pounds of salt per line mile. Reporting in Colombia, Megan Drakis, ABC 17 News.
All right, thank you, Megan. The snow is starting to wrap up tonight in mid-Missouri. You can always stay ahead of the next round of winter weather with the ABC 17 Storm Track Winter Weather app. Our weather app gives you access to a live radar track and the Storm Track Insider blog. You can download the ABC 17 Storm Track Weather app for free from wherever you download your apps.
In an ABC 17 News crime alert, police need your help after a shooting last night in West Colombia. And the shooting happened at Heather Ridge apartment complex around 8:30 last night. We first told you about this as breaking news on our ABC 17 News app. Police say a 25-year-old man was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. His name or condition was not released. Now, nobody else was hurt in this shooting, but anyone that does have any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 875-TIPS. And we have some new local COVID-19 case totals tonight.
The Boone County Health Department reports there were 95 positive tests since yesterday. Nearly 15,400 people in Boone County have been diagnosed with COVID-19. There was also one new virus-related death. We're told the patient was more than 80 years old. At least 65 people in Boone County have died from COVID-19. The health department won't give another update until Tuesday due to the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We also have new case totals from Cole County tonight. According to the local health department, there were 25 new positive tests over the last 24 hours. One of those new cases was found at a long-term care facility in Cole County. There were no new virus-related deaths.
Missouri has set its lowest 7-day COVID-19 positivity rate since November. The state says the positivity rate fell today to just above 15%. That's a nearly 1 percentage point drop over the last 24 hours. The state did add more than 2,200 new cases of COVID-19 since yesterday. Nearly 434,200 people across the state have tested positive for the virus. There was also 28 new virus-related deaths. More than 6,200 patients in Missouri have died from COVID-19. And some state lawmakers plan to head back to work in Jefferson City next week. According to a statement from Senate leadership, state senators expect to be in session at the Capitol on Tuesday. Majority Floor Leader Caleb Rowden says lawmakers owe it to frontline workers and teachers to continue working. We told you yesterday the Missouri House of Representatives canceled next week's session due to COVID-19. State senators plan to wrap up next week's session on Thursday.
A hospital in Mexico, Missouri could soon have a new owner. SSM Health announced today it has agreed to transfer ownership of St. Mary's Hospital Audrey to Noble Healthcare. The healthcare providers both signed a letter of intent over the summer to start negotiations. Noble Health is expected to acquire St. Mary's Hospital in the first quarter of this year.
Still to come on ABC 17 News at 6, where the news comes first.
Find out what you need to make sure if you're prepared if the power goes out during a winter weather event.
Plus, here's a live look of I-70 at the connector in East Columbia. We'll have another check of road conditions later in the newscast. When there's a big story, we're all over it. Governor Mike Parson will serve as the state's 57th governor for his first full term.
In the last few minutes, the Colombia Board of Education voted on a hybrid plan.
ABC 17 News, where the news comes first. You're watching ABC 17 News at 6 on KMIZ, where the news comes first.
And ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Day continues at 6.
Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hefner is tracking the potential for some strong overnight winds.
And Jess, these gusts could or should not cause too many issues.
Yeah, it's just something we've been dealing with the last 2 days. Those wind gusts got up to about 30 to 35 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. As you'll see, those gusts anywhere from around 20 to 30, depending where you are. They're kind of isolated in some spots. Here's the wind tracker for tonight. Those wind gusts should stay up to about 25 miles per hour, at least through midnight, and then start to diminish a little bit into tomorrow. The main concern, honestly, with these winds will be the wind chill. So it's going to feel like the teens going into tonight and into tomorrow. We'll still have winds at around 10 to 15 miles per hour here as we head into the afternoon. That should make it feel more like the lower 20s during the day, but thankfully we will start to see those winds diminish as we head into Sunday, so that wind chill will improve a little bit. New on ABC 17 News at 6, we're looking into what you can do if the power goes out during a weather alert day and during the winter. ABC 17's Zola Crowder joins us live in Colombia tonight after talking with the National Weather Service. And Zola, they recommend people prepare for power outages when dealing with these high winds.
Yeah, Jess, the National Weather Service recommends, most importantly, to stay up to date on weather in your area so you know how and when to prepare for a possible power outage. There are several things you can do to prepare for a power outage and to stay safe if they happen. One key reminder from the National Weather Service is to save your heat.
Close the blinds and curtains around your windows and around the house to keep the heat in. Windows are one of the areas of the house where heat is really quick to escape from.
Before power goes out, the National Weather Service recommends you charge your phone or any device you might need during an emergency.
And that goes back to making sure you're aware of the weather. If you don't know if the weather is going to be bad, you don't know to charge the batteries.
If you have to drive during a storm and the power does go out, watch out for downed power lines.
They're incredibly dangerous. Almost always there's still electricity running through those power cords, and it can be deadly.
You also may need to look out for power outages affecting traffic lights.
If power were to go out, then yes, we would send troopers out there to direct traffic temporarily until MoDOT could get the system up and running again. But there again, we advise people, if you don't have to be out, stay home. That way you can avoid those situations if they were to come up.
Remember to stay updated, prepare if you can, and stay safe.
Anytime weather is a concern, whether it's widespread severe weather or winter weather, we encourage folks to take preparedness actions.
Now, other recommendations if a power outage does happen is to keep your fridge and freezer doors closed. Wear multiple layers if you can to keep your body heat in, and try and run your generator outside. Reporting live in Colombia, I'm Zola Crowder, ABC 17 News.
Thank you, Zola. We are going to continue tracking the last of this snow and, of course, the winds going into the rest of this evening. I'll have the rest of your weekend forecast coming up.
If you have a news tip or must-see pictures or video, share it at abc17news.com/share. Email us at news@kmiz.com or call our newsroom at 573-449-1700.
Our weather alert day continues here for the next 45 minutes or so. I'm expecting the snow to continue winding down this evening, but we do have some wet roads. Temperatures are dropping, but right now the road temperatures are still just above freezing in a majority of mid-Missouri. However, there could be some slick spots, especially on elevated surfaces going into tonight and tomorrow morning, as our temperatures are going to be falling below freezing overnight. So watch for that in the morning. Potentially some lower visibility, but as that snow continues to wind down, that will become less of an issue into the morning. Here's a look at our road conditions conditions now. It's dry with just wet roads from areas near Moberly towards Columbia and Jefferson City. A little bit more snow cover the farther east you go along Highway 54 in Callaway County, Montgomery and Gasconade County, and then areas along Highway 65 where we had colder temperatures earlier today. Here's a live look at radar. You'll see most of that snowfall either to the east or the west of us. A couple of those snow showers still falling for eastern portions of the area east of Highway 54. Those will continue to diminish here over the next hour or two. Those winds continue to whip around at around 20 to 25 miles per hour. That has brought the wind chill down to about 23 for Columbia and Moberly, feeling like 26 in Jefferson City. Here's our future track going into tomorrow morning, expecting that snow, of course, to come to an end tonight. We are left with cloudy skies and temperatures in the 20s. Going into Saturday, expecting temperatures to only make it to about 30 to 35, depending where you are. So it's going to be a cold and cloudy day. To end the weekend on Sunday, cloud cover with a chance of some flurries, not expecting any impact there, but we finally start to warm up heading into early next week with the chance of some rain showers into Tuesday as our temperatures will be well above freezing into next week. I am going to be tracking wind chills in the teens to start off tomorrow, likely only staying in the low 20s during the day, but conditions do start to improve towards the end of the weekend into early next week. Here's my 7-day forecast. We finally start to warm up into next week, just a few degrees, but those 40s will make a difference. I will be watching for a chance of a few showers on Tuesday. We'll have a better chance of another system coming through, at least for the southern portions of mid-Missouri late next week, and potentially another storm system with cooler air by the end of next weekend. So a lot to track once we get into next week.
And we're continuing to follow road conditions across mid-Missouri tonight.
Let's check back in with ABC 17's Chanel Porter, who joins us live with the storm tracker in Audrey County.
And Chanel, how are the roads there tonight?
Deb Lucas, roads are still looking similar to earlier. Very wet as we see this continued precipitation as we enter these night hours. Temperatures could drop below freezing, so definitely still take those precautions. We'll continue to monitor the road conditions into the 6:30 hour and look at the Troop B and F Twitter pages for crash incidences and road updates. That will happen between now and then. Live in Audrey County, Chanel Porter, ABC 17 News.
Okay, thanks, Chanel. We're going to check back in with her like you just heard for an update at 6:30. And you can always get updates sent to your phone from the ABC 17 Storm Track weather app. If you don't already have that, that's available for free from the Apple or Google Play Store.
Friday night typically means a lot of high school hoops on the schedule, but the snow has wreaked some havoc today. ABC 17's Natalie Jones has the update next.
The ABC 17 News Stock Market Report is sponsored by Central Trust Company and Central Bank. Socket is ABC 17's exclusive provider of local telephone service. With Socket, now you have a choice. Call Socket at 1-800-SOCKET-3. Sports Zone starts now, sponsored by U.S. Cellular.
Robin Pinchton and company woke up winners for the first time in what seems like quite a while today. The Tigers got it done over Ole Miss late last night, much thanks to this girl. Haley Frank had herself a night. She finished with a team high of 23 points, along with 7 rebounds in a truly stunning second-half performance for her. Mizzou has never lost against the Rebels, though, since joining the SEC, so last night they improved to 13-1 in the series. Pinch's group was coming off a pretty long layoff, and that game was actually their first one in over a week.
It has been really hard to get into a rhythm. There's no doubt about it. Any kind of flow. I mean, we had Vandy canceled and then Auburn, and I know that was kind of an emotional roller coaster for our kids, and you know, but they responded. I mean, I feel, I've said this all year, I think we've got some really talented pieces, and it's just a matter of putting the puzzle together. And honestly, we just need games. We need games, we need practice, we need to be on the court, and we've had a hard time getting consecutive days.
Meanwhile, Mizzou Hoops will hit the restart button tomorrow night against Texas A&M. It will be the team's first game in more than 10 days due to COVID-19. Yesterday, I spoke with Conzo, Martin, and players, and they said it really feels like they haven't missed a beat at all. players were still allowed to practice over that time, just in smaller, more individualized groups, and they were all actually able to return on Wednesday. But in a season like no other, Martin has emphasized how small of a factor the game of basketball really is. He says with all the starts and stops, it's really more about life.
I equate it to, and I talk about, okay, when you become a father, husband, all those sorts of things, you have to deal with issues. You lose your job, or something happens to one of your children, you have to go to the hospital, be in the hospital for an extended period of time. How do you deal with these issues? It's all life stuff, man. This is a sport. This is basketball. This is entertainment. This is not pressure. I think oftentimes we put pressure on ourselves, but this is entertainment. We're blessed to actually be playing this game.
Well, we were set to have a full slate of high school games tonight, but the snow kind of did a number on that. The Hickman Cupies in Mexico had to call their game off. Same thing for the Rockbridge Bruins in their scheduled matchup with Fatima. No worries, though, guys. There are still some matchups here locally, and I'll have those highlights and scores tonight at 10. For now, that is a look at sports.
All right, thanks, Natalie. And ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Day continues on ABC 17 News at 6. Here's a live look at road conditions from Interstate 70 at Stadium Boulevard in West Colombia. You can see traffic is backed up just a little bit there. We'll have more live team coverage of this Weather Alert Day coming up at 6:30.
Storm Track Weather is tracking every single storm. I would say our mission is to make sure people feel safe and know exactly when the storm is going to arrive at their house.
Always tracking, always alerting. That's ABC 17 Storm Track Weather. This segment of ABC 17 News is sponsored by Steve's Pest Control. Now you've got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Our ABC 17 Storm Track Weather Alert Day is winding down as snow starts to move out of our area. Right now, we are monitoring road conditions after today's snowfall. We have live team coverage with ABC 17's Chanel Porter in Audrey County and ABC 17's Megan Drakis in Columbia after checking in on those conditions in Columbia and Cole County. But first, we're going to start off with ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hefner. And Jess, you're tracking what's left of this winter storm.
Yeah, still have some snow showers, especially in the eastern portions of the viewing area. Most of us have seen anywhere from about 1 to about 2.5 inches of snow today, right in that range of our forecast. Our weather alert day is going to expire here in the next 30 minutes or so, as I'm expecting most of the snowfall to come to an end. But decent snow amounts. Columbia got about 2 inches today. Houstonia and Pettis County got 2, and that's where we ended up with in Huntsville and Randolph County. Morgan County had about 2.5, Mexico about 1.5 inches. Taking a look at the road conditions, most of us are seeing patchy to mostly clear, but I'm going to keep an eye on some of those areas, especially in the eastern and western portions of the area where our road temperatures have dipped below freezing. So that's where we could see a few slick spots. Here's what we have for snowfall right now, especially across parts of southwest Missouri and then going into portions of eastern Missouri. That's those 2 pockets. That's where I'm more concerned for more accumulation, but not expecting too much more for mid-Missouri. Areas where we do have some of that ongoing snowfall, a little bit lower visibility in isolated areas along I-44, rolling down to about a mile now with those gusty winds. Here's our future track going up till about 8 o'clock. Some of those light snow showers starting to move out of the area, and we are left with cloud cover overnight, dropping down to in the upper 20s. So it's going to be a cold start with those winds. It'll feel even colder with that wind chill. We're staying dry tomorrow, but temperatures will stay near freezing with the cloud cover around. And going into Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy skies as a disturbance rolls through just to our northeast. We could have a couple flurries during the day, but overall it's going to be a dry and chilly weekend. Here's the wind chill tracker into tomorrow. It's going to feel like the teens in most spots. The afternoon, it could feel like about 20, so not too much improvement during the day. Then going into Saturday night and Sunday, tracking teens to start off, and then we will start to warm up just a little bit. Here's that weekend forecast, around 33 for tomorrow. We will feel more like 20 to 25 with the winds. A chance of some flurries on Sunday, but then we do start to warm up as we head into next week. By Monday and Tuesday, we're back into the low 40s with another chance for some showers late Monday night into Tuesday.
And our live team coverage of this weather alert day with ABC 17's Chanel Porter and Megan Drakis continues tonight. Now, both of them have checked in with local road crews throughout the day. And Chanel, she joins us live in our ABC 17 Storm Tracker in Mexico, Missouri. And you spoke with Missouri State Highway Patrol about conditions today.
Deb, as we head back towards Columbia, Highway 54 looks mostly clear. As we enter I-70, we will give you an update on that. Roads are still wet, and as we enter those night hours, visibility issues could be present. We continue to advise you to drive slower than you normally would and stay aware of your surroundings. We have continued to track activity through Troop B and F today. I spoke with Corporal Justin Dunn around 3 o'clock today for an update on what they have responded to throughout the day.
Responded to 48 calls for service. Out of those 48 calls, 13 were crashes, 9 were non-injury crashes, and 4 were injury crashes with no fatalities reported at this time.
We will have another update later in the show from I-70 to give you those road conditions. Live in Audrey County, Chanel Porter, ABC 17 News.
Okay, thanks, Chanel. Let's take a quick look at those road conditions across other parts of mid-Missouri tonight. The MoDOT Traveler map shows that roads aren't clearing up closer to home, but they are still partly covered around Jefferson City area. Now, you can see those blue on your screen. That means that roads are covered or partly covered, and the purple as well. Now, if you are going towards Callaway County and the Audrey area, there are still some problems there. And like we've told you, conditions do look like they're going to improve if you head towards Cooper and Howard County. And now we're going to check in with ABC 17's Megan Drakis as she continues our live team coverage tonight after driving around streets in Jefferson City earlier today. She spoke with Cole County Road Superintendent about what they are doing to keep roads safe there. But now she joins us in Columbia. And Megan, what are drivers, or what should they be aware of if they have to head to either both areas?
Yeah, thanks, Deb. Right now, I'm on Business Loop 70, and the road conditions are still pretty wet. Now, earlier today, I did travel to Jefferson City and wanted to see how the road conditions were in Cole County. Now, as I was going there about 1 to 2 p.m., the visibility wasn't great, and at one point, I even felt like I could see hail hitting my windshield. But I spoke with the Cole County Road Superintendent today, and he told me how crews were working hard to keep the roads safe. Now, this morning, Cole road crews were pre-treating the roads with 100 pounds of per lane miles. And when the storm hit, they pushed that up to 200 pounds of salt per lane mile. Now, crews wanted to remind residents that when there's streets that need to be plowed, to always park in your driveway to keep them clear off the streets.
It's always just stay safe out there, give yourself plenty of extra time, make sure that when you're going somewhere that you're allowing a few extra minutes during snow. So I don't know how else to word that. But.
No, that was actually very good. I think I might actually use that soundbite. That was.
And Brian told me when you're shoveling snow, make sure to always shovel it to your right so when the plow comes, that the snow doesn't go back into your driveway. Reporting live in Columbia, Megan Drakis, ABC 17 News.
And in COVID-19 news tonight, within the past hour, Cole County reported 25 new COVID-19 cases. Now, one of those was in a long-term care facility. The county has seen a total of more than 7,400 cases since the start of the pandemic. More than 260 of those have been in nursing homes. Cole County did not report any new deaths. And Boone County has reported some new case totals as well. The county health department reported 95 new cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. Nearly 15,400 people in Boone County have been diagnosed with the virus. Boone County health officials also reported 1 new virus-related death. At least 65 people have now died from COVID-19. A Jefferson City COVID-19 testing site plans to adjust its hours starting tomorrow. According to a news release, Capital Region's drive-through test site will change its hours to 8 in the morning until noon on Monday through Friday. And then Saturday at 9 in the morning until noon. This site will be closed on Sundays. A doctor's order is required to get tested at the site. And Missouri reported its lowest 7-day COVID-19 positivity rate since November. The state health department says the rate fell today to just about 15%. That's nearly 1 point lower over the past 24 hours. There was also nearly 30 new virus-related deaths reported. There have been more than 6,200 COVID-19-related deaths in Missouri. And an administrative official announced today that a coronavirus vaccine doses that were promised have already been distributed. Now, that contradicts what the U.S. Health and Human Services said last week about releasing its entire supply to states rather than holding second doses in reserve. But as production continues to increase, more doses will be delivered to states. According to a statewide vaccine count that Governor Mike Parson tweeted today, Missouri has administered more than 202,700 doses of its vaccine supply. He also added that frontline workers and long-term care facilities staff and residents are prioritized in this stage. And the official global death toll from COVID-19 surpassed 2 million today. As all according to data from Johns Hopkins University, only confirmed COVID-19 deaths are included in the tally, which means people who died without a diagnosis may not be included. Testing is still inadequate in many countries, and officials say there might be thousands of additional deaths actually out there.
Up next on ABC 17 News at 6:30, where the news comes first.
President-elect Joe Biden announced his first 100-day plan and some critical cabinet picks. We'll break down how many more vaccines he wants administered nationwide and how he plans to get it done. And this is a live look of roads as they are still wet if you have to head out right now. This is a look at I-70 in Colombia near Clark Lane. We'll have another look at those road conditions later in the newscast.
ABC 17 Storm Track weather can be heard on Zimmer radio stations like 93.9 The Eagle.
Welcome back. At an ABC 17 News crime alert, no arrests have been made after a man was shot last night in West Colombia. Police say they responded to reports of shots fired around 8:30 in the 2400 block of West Broadway. Now, we brought this to you as breaking news last night at 10. Police say a 25-year-old man was taken to the hospital for gunshot wounds. His condition and name have not been released. Now, anyone that does have information is asked to call Crime Stoppers or Columbia Police. And a hospital in Mexico, Missouri is one step closer to having a new owner. SSM Health announced today that it has agreed to transfer ownership of St. Mary's Hospital. Healthcare providers both signed off on the deal over the summer to start negotiations. Noble Health is expected to acquire St. Mary's Hospital in the first quarter of this year. Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to send the House's impeachment article to the Senate next week. The Constitution requires the Senate to begin an impeachment trial at 1 o'clock the day after the article is received. Senator Chuck Schumer will be taking over as Majority Leader in the Senate. Current Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has already spoken with President-elect Joe Biden about how the Senate can move forward. President-elect Joe Biden pledged that 100 million COVID-19 vaccines will be administered during his first 100 days in office. Now, he announced that today in his address about his team's pandemic response. Biden promised to use federal funds to create community vaccination centers to vaccinate as quickly as possible.
On my first day in office, I'll instruct the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to begin setting up the first of these centers. By the end of our first month in office, we'll have 100 federally supported centers across the nation that will ultimately vaccinate millions of people.
The vaccine program will cost $20 billion, funded by $1.9 billion emergency package. And President-elect Joe Biden named his pick to lead the Federal Emergency Management Agency today. Deanne Criswell serves as the commissioner of the New York City Emergency Management. She worked at FEMA from 2011 to 2017. She was also a member of the Colorado Air National Guard. And the president-elect tapped Dr. David Kessler today to lead the federal vaccine efforts. Kessler is moving from his current role as a co-chair of the Transition's COVID-19 Task Force. He previously led the FDA under President George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton. A transition official says they are moving to a new phase of the virus response. And President-elect Biden has also asked his deputy attorney general nominee to take a side job for his inauguration. Biden asked Lisa Monaco to serve as his inauguration team's Homeland Security advisor. She would coordinate with security officials on safety concerns leading up to the inauguration. Monaco will then go back to preparing for confirmation hearings as a leading nominee with the Department of Justice. And the first confirmation hearing for a crucial position in Biden's administration has been postponed in the Senate. President-elect Biden asked for a fast-track approval of his nominee for Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines. The Senate selected a committee on intelligence postponed today's scheduled confirmation hearing. Officials say it's because the senator wanted to hold hearings in person instead of remotely.
I'm tracking the last of the snow showers for tonight, followed by some cold wind chills going into the overnight hours. All of your traffic conditions and the rest of your weekend forecast all coming up.
The rollout of coronavirus vaccines is raising a lot of questions.
Trust ABC 17 News to get you answers.
We're sorting through new information to find out how safe and effective they are and when you can expect to get one.
Continuing coverage of the vaccines on ABC 17 News.
This segment of ABC 17 News is sponsored by Boone Electric Cooperative. You're watching ABC 17 News at 6:30 on KMIZ, where the news comes first.
Our snow showers are starting to thin out across much of mid-Missouri. Our weather alert day expiring soon, but tracking the road temperatures closely tonight, even with snow coming to an end. We'll be watching for a few slick spots, especially east, where those road temperatures have dropped into the 20s. Farther west, near Sedalia along Highway 65, possibly a little more slick there as we're dropping those road temperatures to around 25. The rest of the area, it has just been wet on the major roadways as our road temperatures have been above freezing all day. Watching for a few slick spots into the morning, especially on bridges and overpasses. Main concern overnight will be the gusty winds, keeping things feeling very cold with the wind chill. Right now, most of us are still above freezing. It's 34 in Colombia and 35 in Jefferson City. Farther west, where it's a little colder on the roads, right around freezing for the air temperature. And that's what we have in our eastern counties too. Not much improvement as far as temperatures and cloud cover go for tomorrow. We'll see a high near 33 in Colombia. Clouds stick around for Jefferson City. We stay just above freezing, even with this low pressure diminishing. You'll see those snow showers continue to slide on to the south and leave us dry for the rest of tonight. Going into tomorrow morning, we're starting out in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Again, not expecting widespread road problems, but could have some slippery areas, especially where it's untreated and where things have frozen over on bridges. Into the afternoon, we're not warming up too much, right around freezing or just above with cloud cover. Into Sunday, slightly warmer during the day, but we'll have a disturbance sliding on to our east that could bring a few flurries during the afternoon. Then we do start to warm up as we head into next week, back up to about 41 by Monday. The main day we're going to have to watch out for the wind chills will be tomorrow, feeling like the teens to around 20 degrees. And those wind chills do improve as we head towards the end of the weekend. Now going into next week, I'll be tracking some dry skies to start off on Monday. By the time we get to Tuesday, though, I'll be tracking a chance for a few showers early in the morning. We'll be warm with temperatures in the mid-40s by the end of the week, especially on Thursday. A chance of showers, but then watching closely Sunday into Monday of the following week as we could have some colder temperatures moving in and possibly some more precipitation. It does look like we'll be in for a more active pattern next week, but temperatures will be on the warmer side, climbing back into the 40s through Thursday.
And we're going to check back in with our reporter who's monitoring those roads across mid-Missouri tonight. ABC 17's Chanel Porter joins us live from Boone and Callaway County line. And Chanel, as you were making your way in Audrey County and now you're starting to make your way back towards Columbia, how have the roads been on your way back?
Deb, the road conditions on I-70 are very similar to what we were seeing on Highway 54. Precipitation has continued here as we head back towards Boone County. Roadways are a bit more clear. We continue advising travelers into the night hours to limit traveling if possible. If you are going out, continue to keep your speed low and be aware of your surroundings, as visibility could be an issue into these night hours. Live on I-70, Chanel Porter, ABC 17 News.
Okay, thank you so much, Chanel. Now we're going to send things over to ABC 17's Megan Drakis, who is monitoring the road conditions in Columbia for us tonight. And Megan, as we start to go into these late night hours, how are the roads looking? Are you seeing any refreezing?
Yeah, Deb. Right now I'm on Business Loop 70 and the conditions are still wet. I have a couple puddles right next to me actually, and they aren't frozen, they're still liquid, but it has stopped snowing right now. And since you guys, from when you guys came back to me 15 minutes ago, I counted about 6 plows and 5 of them were actually salting on the road. So it does look like crews are still out working on the roads and helping to keep you safe. Reporting live in Columbia, Megan Drakis, ABC 17 News.
And in news across America tonight, more details have come out today about last week's siege on Capitol Hill. Vice President Mike Pence was minutes away from coming face to face with rioters. Pence and his wife and daughter were moved off the Senate floor, and the rioters came up to the Senate entrance just a minute later. Now, the vice president was less than 100 feet away from them before he was moved to a secure location. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has picked a well-known retired general to lead the review of Capitol Hill security. Lieutenant General Russell Honor was a designated career in the National Guard, known for his response to disasters like Hurricane Katrina. The speaker wants him to look into command and control issues after last week's riots. And we will have our final look at weather after the break. Coming up tonight on ABC 17 News at 10, we are finding out which parts of Missouri are ready to roll out the next tier of coronavirus vaccines and why others aren't.
And the snow is starting to move out of mid-Missouri. I am tracking some cold temperatures going into tomorrow, so watch for those wind chills in the teens and potentially some gusty winds overnight that could make things a little bit slick into the morning. Not expecting much of an impact, but give yourself a little extra time heading out the door. Going into the rest of the weekend, temperatures stay in the 30s with the chance of a few more flurries on Sunday. We will see highs creeping back into the mid-30s. And then going into next week, we'll start back into the low 40s by Monday, tracking a chance for a few showers by Tuesday with warmer temperatures at the end of the week.
Okay, thanks so much, Jess. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Have a great weekend.